What operating system are you functioning on? I liked it when the title came to me just a little while ago. It's like, oh, yeah, most of us are operating on an old operating system. We're functioning as if it's a very old computer that has not been upgraded yet. And many times we don't even know that. So I want to talk a little bit about this old operating system and the new operating system. And the reason I'm doing that is because I had an interaction with somebody today who very much functions on the old operating system. I noticed this person when something did not fully resonate with him, he just got very angry and started kind of threatening me or um, trying to control me with unkindness, like, well, if this, then that. And afterwards, it does impact my nervous system still, and it may always do when this kind of harsh energy of blame and righteousness, controlling comes at me. I'm not free from that, but I am free from letting it operate, let it function from the old operating system. So, in that sense, I could meet that person and say, I do not function that way anymore. And if you want to talk with me, come to some kind of an agreement, I'm going to ask you to just slow down a little bit so we can actually talk together and so that I can connect with you. This is one of my ways of not engaging with an old operating system because, guys, it doesn't work for most of us anymore. Those of us who are moving into a higher operating system, and of course when I talk about an operating system, it's the way we operate in the world. It's the way how we engage with others, how we engage with ourselves, how we function out there, how we make choices, how we interact with others, how we communicate, how we listen, how we receive, that that whole new way of being that I know we all want. That's very different from the old, where there's still a way to try and control others and using threatening ways of saying things kind of to scare the other person. And my nervous system got scared. It's like, oh my God, if I don't do that, then this will happen. But luckily, I have done enough work to just like really feel that, not ignore it, not suppress it, but just noticing, like, wow, that has an impact on me. So let me just breathe into that and let me speak from here to this person, which is what I did. And there was luckily some settling in that because it was obvious that I was not going to engage with that, even though there might have been a threat that I might lose something or whatever. So, in that sense, it's very powerful to literally very consciously leave behind the old operating system, the old way that we have been functioning in the world that has made the world very dysfunctional. I think we can all agree on it that it's pretty dysfunctional. Dysfunctional, I can't even say it out there. And that the way well, let's just say the word, the way the politicians, most of them, they are functioning from a very outdated operating system. That means they are blaming, shaming, pointing fingers, taking sides, being right on all that stuff, and also not being honest. There's a lot of dishonesty happening too. These are all the old ways. And if we want a new operating system, we literally have to disengage from the old way. It's funny, even as I'm talking about this right now, and I got the title right before, I'm just really seeing how it all overlaps with what we have been talking about here. And now it feels like there's just a deeper clarity, and that you cannot work on a computer with an old operating system and a new one. And I'm not a computer person, so if I'm wrong, so be it. But it seems to me that when you upgrade to a higher operating system, the old one is not there anymore. What it seems to me is that there's a lot of people functioning in the old operating system, and a lot of people are moving into the new. And that is the one heart-based, oneness-based, caring about each other, listening. And we are not there yet. Some people may be there more than others, but it's a process. So somehow it's not exactly the same as we're not quite computers, but so we can't just switch off the old and move into the new. It is a process, and we have to make it. But we do have to set the intention to fully shut down the old operating system. What a great metaphor. Thank you. In there, in the heart, up in the sky, that's a great metaphor. And we do need to disengage from it. We have to stop reacting to it. We have to stop engaging in a conversation like I was sharing today, where you just say, no, I don't function like that anymore. I don't do that anymore. The old operating system is going to try to pull you back in. And I remember years ago when this has been a practice of mine for a long time, when I was not fully grounded in my new operating system, and I'm not saying I am there fully, but I'm there a lot more than I used to be, then this person would pull me in like nobody's business. It was like, whoop, just right back. And here I was arguing again. And it really goes nowhere. You can ask yourself, what is it really serving to take sides, thinking you're right, making others wrong, pointing fingers? It's a real good question to ask ourselves that, because when we can convince ourselves just through introspection that like this goes nowhere, there's no point in arguing, there's no point in trying to think I'm right and they're wrong. You may have a different experience. I'm not saying you have to have this belief the same as they, but you can just have a different experience, and they're having a different experience. And sometimes they just don't overlap. And it's like, we just seek too differently, and we can't really meet, but go with my blessings. And I go with my blessings. And then there's times where there is overlap. So it's not a matter of, we don't need to, just because we stop engaging in that old operating system, that doesn't mean that they're wrong or anything. It's just like we're just done with it. It's just, we finished that chapter, just like an operating system on a computer, right? Now it has completed what it could. And now there are people who have created a better, smoother, more functional operating system. And now we're going to install that. And that simply deletes the old. So the process that most of us here are in is deleting the old program. And we do it just by one at a time, just because that's how we are made. But once enough of it is deleted, you will notice that you have a lot more energy to put on the new operating system. It just is a natural thing when you have, 90% there. It's like, oh, the 10 here, we really have to fight for it or struggle for it or pull ourselves out here. And then, then it might be 80 and 20. And at a certain point, when it's, what would it be, 49 and 51, we have more energy available for the new. It just starts going faster. It just seems to be like that it's like you get over a hump and then there's more smooth ride. It's not that it's over, but we have more pull here to pull ourselves out of the old and engage more in the new. And when we do that, we also start meeting more people who are functioning here. And that feeds us even more to, pull the last parts out of the old and say, hey, I'm done with that. And then like, oh my God, I fell in again. But because you have so much here, you can just say, all right, come on out. Let's not make a big deal out of it. We're done with that. So what operating system are you on? Are you still in the old? Are you transitioning out of the old into the new? Or maybe you are fully in the new and it's like, wow, what an amazing life that must be. We're still living amongst many people who are in the old, and it's not our job to erase their old operating system. We are here to shine our own new operating system. And as we shine that light, the darkness that is still experienced here will automatically be impacted by it. It's just how it works, light dissolves darkness. So the more we can dissolve our own darkness by not engaging in it anymore, the more we start shining, and the more other people's darkness will automatically be dissolved, not because we have to do anything. We may do something, we may do a lot of things, but we're not trying to change anybody. We're just here being our true self, being very honest and transparent with these people by saying, no, I don't function on that level. That's probably not how you would say it, but just to use that metaphor of the operating system. So I just don't do that anymore. And you don't need to argue or defend or whatever or justify it. It's like, I'm just done with that. I have a much better operating system that I enjoy more. So that's kind of how we can slowly start transitioning out of the old into the new. And it's lovely. And if you need some kind of support in that, I keep reminding you that I have my monthly gathering, the first Tuesday of the month. That's where more people are now gathering in the new operating system or on their way to it. And then there's more of us who are really letting that light shine. Then the parts of us that are still stuck in the old, they automatically get pulled out. It's a natural thing when we start shining our light more. The darkness just starts dissolving. We can't fight darkness with darkness. We can't fight blame with blame or shame with shame, or it just stays in that same realm. We need to pull out of it, meet others in the new realm, and then just start shining the light and being that open channel for the divine that we are. And then see what happens. Could be very exciting, and I think it is. So if you want to join me, just click on the link that I put in the description below and just read up on it and see if it resonates for you, if you feel called to join even just one time to see if it is for you. And of course, I would love to see you Tuesday, September 3rd, I think is the next one. All right, my friends, have a lovely day, and just delete a little more of that old operating system if you can.